Just like with ROS, our purpose here is to show you the interface and show you what item does what. Of course, if you just want to prepare for the exam, you need to know, so this may be sufficient. But if you work with Converge Access and you want to gain some experience, you want to practice this. So take the time to configure what you see on this screen, experiment with a client, and make sure that what you configure works and operates the way you expect. But on a pure description basis, the configuration of the General tab is pretty much the same as what you have on ROS. So I'm here in Configuration Wireless, in WLANs, and here you configure SSIDs. So if you want to create a new one, you click New. The difference here is that you put the ID yourself, so you have to remember where you stopped in your ID. It's not going to auto-generate it like it does on ROS. So I have only one, so I know it's 2. And then you just put the SSID and the profile name. So this is very similar to what you have on ROS. All right, click Apply, and then you have pretty much the same type of interface with the same look and feel once you click the SSID to edit its settings. The General tab is, as usual, where you decide if you want to broadcast the SSID or not at the bottom, if you enable the SSID, and just like on ROS, it's disabled by default. This is also where you decide if you want the SSID on all interfaces, only 5, only G in 2.4, AG, they should say OFDM on 2.4 and 5 gig, but no B, or only 2.4 B and G. So that's the same as ROS. This is also where you would choose the interface where you want to send your clients, right? By default, you send to the default interface, which means the management, wireless management interface. But if you have other SVIs defined, then you can make a more specific choice. Notice that my wireless management interface is VLAN 21, and if I don't choose default, it also offers me to choose VLAN 21, which is also the default because that's the management. But that's one of the aspects of iOS XE where you can define some defaults, and even though you define those defaults, you can pick up specifically VLAN 21. And that's powerful because if ever you change the default, then you still send people to VLAN 21. So that's a subtlety of the choice you can make here. You can of course choose another interface, VLAN 23, and you can also create VLAN groups if you want to, just like we had the option on ROS. So broadcast, you would broadcast here as well by default, and we have the same multicast VLAN features on ROS where you have the possibility, if you use multiple interface groups, to choose one of those to forward your multicast traffic and avoid duplicates.